This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 2 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Let's get started.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Bonus Stage Podcast. This is episode number 41. We're recording this on Friday, August 30th, 2013. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison. And joining me, Jeff Ward. Jeff, how the hell are you?
Good. I think I'm getting a cold. Carly's kind of trying to fight her cold right now, so I think I might be getting it
You
from
can't
her.
blame me because we haven't seen each other, and we didn't do a show last week because I had a throat thing happening.
Yeah.
I was coughing like crazy, but you can't blame me.
No, I can't. I mean, I will, but I can't.
You dropped off a game, but I didn't even see you. You put it between the doors because I wasn't at home. So
That's true, yeah.
So-
But maybe your door handle had some sort of nastiness on it.
no, that did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
I
Likely.
damn it.
A
I
likely
gotta go
story.
get rid of the evidence.
But yeah, I'm good. I've been working a lot. I've had a ton of work to do this week, and I've got a lot more to do. Quick side note, I will not be on the show next week because I have a event to film and then a wedding to film the next morning and then a wedding rehearsal, at the same time we're doing the show. So I don't know I think you're planning on getting someone else to kind of fill in, so... But I guess just kind of pay attention to VG podcasts and you'll know if there's going to be a show or not.
Yeah, there'll be a show for sure.
All right, then.
So there'll be
It's
something.
already settled.
There'll be something. As I said before we started recording, I'll fill the time somehow.
Oh, okay, cool.
Stuff something in that slot.
That's an awkward thing to say.
All right, well, let's get into the show. Yeah, we didn't do a show last week, unfortunately, because I was sickly, and which is weird because the kids aren't in school yet. They start next week, so I don't really know what that all was about. But back and feeling better. Put out a special edition podcast on this feed, so hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. Had a nice hour and a bit long talk about Disney Infinity with Joe Foreman. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that. Let us know what you thought of the show. It was basically just a special edition focusing on one game. Is that something you guys want us to do more of? We've done it in the past, usually for stuff like E3, not for anything video game, like specific video game related stuff, like focusing on one game or whatever. But would you guys like us to do something like that every once in a while? If a big release comes out, do a standalone show so we could spend a lot of time talking just about that and kind of just throw it into the feed. If that's something you want, let us know. vgpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I'm at DazMe on Twitter. Let us know what you think, and that'll adjust kind of stuff that we do with the show in the future.
Yeah, I caught the show, or a little bit of it anyway. I think you posted on YouTube, right?
Yep.
That's probably where I saw it because I'm pretty sure it wasn't live, and it was cool. I couldn't care less about that game, but the figures are really, really cool. I mean, they're such high quality acrylic figures that even just to display them on their own without even playing the game might be something that people do, and I wouldn't put it past them. Like, they're really nice looking. If you're really into Disney characters, that it's a very interesting game. Is it competing well with Skylanders?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a game. Skylanders is not so much a game. It's I guess that's wrong. Skylanders obviously is a game. Disney Infinity is a game that has a start and a finish, and there's a bunch of parts to it. So it's more like buying a disc and putting it in your system than it is playing levels. Where Skylanders is, you go from one level, beat it, go to the next level, beat it, go to the next level, beat it, and then realize you need to get all of the collectibles on each one, and then you go back and do that. So I don't know. I think Disney Infinity competes really well with Skylanders.
Well, I mean, they certainly have the money to spend marketing the damn thing, right? So I'm sure there's going to be no shortage of. I mean, I saw on Reddit like the Disney Infinity display is like right across the same aisle, like they're facing each other from Skylanders, like completely direct competition. There's no, trying to hide it. We're like, hey, we buy this instead because it's better, like. And I think that's very interesting. So I'll be interested to kind of break down the numbers later on because I mean Disney's got all the money in the world to buy essentially every piece of advertising they could ever want, right? And I guess Skylanders, the company who makes that, does as well too because that sold like hotcakes. So,
well, it is Activision who probably they also have more money than God because of World of Warcraft and other properties. So.
Yeah,
they're both well-to-do companies selling plastic figures to kids. But yeah, you're right. The Disney Infinity figures are something that I wouldn't be embarrassed to have out like in my like little, I don't know, TV room that I have set up in the basement here.
Yeah, the other ones are pretty cool. Like for Skylanders, they're very interesting characters.
Yeah, but they look like toys.
That's true, aren't they?
Well, no. Can you really play with them?
I guess you could.
They don't do much. They just kind of sit there.
Yeah, not like a G.I. Joe or anything like that. Or
exactly.
This Albert Einstein action figure that I have right here.
There you go. Yeah, it's not. They're definitely not. They're definitely not action figures. Where the Disney Infinity ones look more like statues, like stuff that you would buy with the purpose of displaying. So I don't know. I really like it. I like the game. So we posted or we recorded on Tuesday. Posted that special episode I think on Wednesday, or maybe it was Thursday. I don't recall. Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
I think I only saw it a couple of days ago, so it probably was Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. So I today I bought the Lone Ranger playset, and I was playing that with my kids today because we beat all 3 playsets that come with the game. So did you not say like a few weeks ago that I will not be buying all of these? No, I said I would buy the playsets. I said I wouldn't I wouldn't buy all the figures.
Okay. So what's what is a playset then?
So a playset is a standalone game. So it's a 6-hour experience that has a start and a finish that you use the figures that come with it. So the Lone Ranger playset comes with a Lone Ranger and Tonto, and it comes with a little piece that you put onto the Disney Infinity pad, which then gives you the option to play that game, that experience. And it's about all these play sets. They're about a 6-hour experience. You're doing quests, you're exploring, you're unlocking things for toy box mode. So it's like its own little game.
Okay, cool.
Essentially, and that's why I like Disney Infinity, because it is like a collection of small little games, and they're all really good. Like they're all games that are as good as any other Disney game has ever been on consoles.
Yeah.
Like Disney,
which might not be saying all that much.
No, like Disney movie games, not the best track record.
No.
But yeah, they're really good. The Lone Ranger one is really fun because you got your gun, you got a 6-shooter. If you're Tonto, you throw tomahawks. Eventually, you unlock like the ability to throw dynamite. Different things like you're in the Lone Ranger playset, you're basically protecting the city from the movie. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't remember the name of the city. And there's a train that runs around the city, and you have to do things like add different train cars to it so that you can deliver water to places that need water and deliver cattle and TNT and all this other stuff. So it's a meatier kind of little mini game, but it's still kind of open world at the same time. So yeah, a lot of fun. You'd probably enjoy it, Jeff. I
probably would.
I know you wouldn't want to spend money on it.
I mean, Christ, I'm playing a game called Campus Crush. Like, I mean, I think at this point it's pretty obvious that my like spectrum of liking games is pretty wide.
Right, and I mean, it's a kids game, but it's beefy enough for adults to play. And it's Disney. I mean, Disney's huge, and I love every Disney movie I've ever seen. I love. So this is kind of like the perfect game for me, especially now that I have kids. So I have an excuse to go and play co-op with them with this game. It's great. But yeah, I picked up the Lone Ranger one today, and the only playset that I don't have that's out, because they've only released out 2 other playsets, is Cars. So my daughter turns 6 on I don't know, a couple weeks from now. On the 18th, so I guess it's close to 3 weeks, and she'll be getting that for a birthday present for sure, because she loves playing. Like the kids will play hours of Toy Box mode. And Toy Box mode is, as I said on the podcast, the special edition, it's like a Duplo version of Minecraft. So Minecraft's more like Lego. You have little pieces that you snap together, where the Disney Infinity Toy Box mode is more like Duplo. So it's bigger, chunkier pieces that you're slapping together, but no less fun. And there's still a lot of stuff that you can do with it. So yeah, I don't know. I dig it. I really, really, really like it. So.
What's the price tag of all the stuff that you've bought so far? I mean, they're pretty expensive, right? Like, is there a base set you get that's like $60?
$75 for the base set, comes with 3 figures.
Wow.
If you want to co-op, you need 2 figures from each movie. So you need to buy 3 other figures to co-op, which is the stupidest thing. That's my one complaint about Disney Infinity. So you're buying 3 other figures, another $30. So you're already at $100. And then I bought the playset. So it's another, like, each playset is $35, which is still about $10 more expensive than it should be.
Holy shit.
But you're playing for Disney, you're paying for a really good experience, and you're paying for the figures that are super high quality. So
yeah,
I mean, I understand why it's more expensive. Doesn't mean that I have to like it.
Yeah,
but I will buy all the play sets because my kids are really loving the game. So
that's good.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I'm digging it. I really, really like it. And if anybody out there has kids, this is a game that you'll probably enjoy playing with them. It is fun co-oping and doing some split screen. And I'm playing it on the Wii U, and that's probably the best system to play it on because you can actually do item management right on your gamepad.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Making stuff a little bit quicker and stuff. Yeah, Kyle K in the chat room says the ripoff is the power discs, and yeah, that's definitely it. So they have these little plastic things that can enhance your gameplay or give you special powers, and they're like baseball cards. You buy a pack of them, you don't know what's in the pack, and it's $5 for 2 little chunks of plastic. So if you want to get all 20, you have to buy 10 packs. But there's no way that you're going to buy 10 packs and not get any doubles, and they're $5 a pack. So if you want to get all of the little plastic modifiers, you're spending like $50 at the very minimum. So
wow.
Yeah, crazy. But I mean, you don't have to buy that. It doesn't make the game worse for not having them. It just adds things to make it
I remember when I was buying Pokemon cards as a kid, and by me buying, I mean my dad was buying them for me. The booster packs were the biggest ripoff because you would get 6 or 7 cards out of the 15 that you already had. Then 3 or 5 cards that you didn't want, and then you had a chance at like 1 or 2 that you might want. And even then, the booster packs were like you could have just traded your friend for it because the cards are made so quickly. Magic used to be like that, where the booster packs were a ripoff, but recently, and like in the last 10 years, recently they've made it a bit more fair. Like you get a lot, you don't get as much land as you used to in each booster pack because you can buy it from any store for like 10 cents a card. But there's always going to be some ripoff in every game, right? Like right now it's for digital downloads, it's clothing for a character. Like that's a ripoff. You're just an idiot if you buy that kind of shit.
Yeah, I hate that kind of stuff.
Avatar rewards on the Xbox Live.
Those
Arcade.
are worse.
Like, I want my avatar to wear a stupid pair of glasses. Like, well, you're an idiot.
I want a chocobo to fly around me for when I'm not playing a game on my game console, where I'm always playing a game. Yeah. So here's $4, Microsoft. Yeah, I don't.
Tom has bought some of that stuff, right? I don't know what I think his character's like. He might have like a stormtrooper helmet on or something like that. But he always says to me, he goes, well, I had like a few dollars left in my account, and what else can I buy with it? I'm like,
you add more money.
Like just because you have money in the account doesn't mean you have to spend it. Like,
yeah. It's
just the most ridiculous thing. Like eventually your spare dollars will add up to something.
I was saving up $25,000 for a new car, but every time I had $1,000, I went and bought a new television because I mean, what else am I going to do with it? I can't buy a car for that.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's no use for that stuff. You get a bunch of free stuff in the game too. Like every game you play will have avatar rewards. All you gotta do is unlock it.
I have to be honest.
I've got a bunch of free shit.
I almost bought the some of the Star Wars stuff. I wanted a lightsaber.
Wow.
But I smacked myself in the face and said, nope, you don't need that. And also you don't play your Xbox 360 enough to even get any use out of that $4 or $5 little virtual Chotsky. So I did not buy it.
when I bought Modern Warfare 3, I got the hardened edition, right? So it came with a bunch of free shit. And one of the things was this digital download code for you can get the Juggernaut suit, female and male, right? So you get one code for the male version, one code for the female version. So I type it in, right? And I don't know anybody else on my list who's gonna want this suit. So I'm like, well, I might as well, so I can get rid of this stupid card and I don't carry it around everywhere. I might as well punch in the code. But because my character, like my like Xbox knows that I'm a guy, they wouldn't let me download it. They were like, oh, you can't, you're a guy, you can't download this. Like, what? What the hell are you talking about? Like, just because my avatar can't put on the costume, I can't download it? Like, they out and out refuse to message Microsoft, you can't download this.
Well, you can't cross-dress on the Xbox. I mean, that would be that would just be all sorts of hate mail would be coming to Microsoft, I guess.
Yeah, not that I actually wanted it. I just wanted to get rid of the card, so I'll download it because I've got the chat pad, so it's easy, right? But
well, and also you might have someone else use your console that is a woman who would want to use that.
It was just bizarre. Bizarre.
Really, really weird. Really weird.
Cool. Are we doing the show right now?
Yeah, we are.
We haven't even got to like the first segment.
No, we're just chatting about stuff. I just want to remind you guys that we have a YouTube channel. Check out youtube.com/VGPod and subscribe and check out all the videos. Been getting a lot of people playing and watching the videos, which is really good. So if you guys like it, subscribe and thumbs up when you're watching a video, and that would be great. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Stitcher Radio to get all of the future episodes piped directly to your ear holes or eye holes, I guess, if you're watching on YouTube. But subscribe and then you'll get all future episodes without even having to do any work. It's good for lazy people out there like me.
How many subscribers are on there now?
On YouTube, I haven't looked recently. Once we broke the 100 mark, I haven't went and peeked. So it's I don't know. It's a number.
Cool.
Yep, it's good.
Cool beans.
Yep. All right, Jeff. What you been playing? And don't say Campus Crush because I will smack you through the microphone.
Well, then I would say get your baby powder ready on your smack in hand because I have been playing that. But I kind of put together this list last week before the show got canceled, so I've got some stuff I've been playing over the last couple of weeks on here. The first one is an iOS game called Gold Diggers, and there was a game that came out like when I first got my iPhone, like the first one I had, the 3G. It was a game where you controlled a rig that has like a drill on the front and you can drive down and is that what it was called?
Yeah, I think that's what it was called. Dig It.
Awesome
Then there's
game.
Dig It HD. It was one of my favorite games around that time.
Yeah, it was so much fun. You had to like increase the structural integrity of your hull and how much gas you had. And it was so much fun. You collected, gems and coins and shit. And this one is similar to that, but it's more in the vein of you're just continuous, kind of like Ninjump, right? Where you're just continuously going up and bouncing off the wall until you die. This is the same, but you're going down. So you have like 3 cars attached to a drill and you're driving down, and on the bottom of your phone, right, you just kind of, slide your finger across which way you want the thing to go. And it's a stupid game, but it's so much fun to play. There's like, for some weird reason, there is these like Mario fireball sticks that keep rotating, like I don't know why these are down there, but there's that kind of stuff. There's like rockets that get shot up from the center of the earth that try to, kill you. And every time you get hit, like one of your cars just drops off the back. So 3 hits and you're dead. And then you can go, there's like sections that separate each layer of dirt. Right. And they're basically these train tracks or railroad tracks or whatever that just drop down, and some of them are kind of cut in half, so you have to jump over, you have to swipe to jump over, and there's coins, and it's just a fun little game. It's free, which is fantastic. I really love games like this where the only thing you need to play is one finger, and you just either swipe or tap or move your finger back and forth across the screen. Mm-hmm. I love that kind of stuff because I think that's what, for me anyway, that's what the iPhone is best at, is one finger games where you don't you play it for 3 or 4 minutes, you get your enjoyment out of it, and then you as Victor Lucas is wont to say all the time, something I can just play in line at the bank. He's constantly at the bank. I should stop watching his shows because he's got too much money, I think. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff, and this is a really fun game. There are in-app purchases, but I click through it so quickly I never even know what they are because I'm like, oh, do you want to pay 99 cents? No, I don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm playing a lot of that, and I have still been playing Campus Crush, believe it or not. Man, I got some really funny tweets at me after the show 2 weeks ago, most of which were perpetrated by you, but still very funny.
Wasn't me. There was tweets by the Tony started razzing you, and
that's true. And then you connected him to me.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
So I'm still playing the game. I just want to finish it at this point. It's a very stupid game. I mean, it's so bad. A lot of time it glitches out and like characters don't have a face for a long time or they're invisible. It's really strange. But
Nice.
it's a story that for whatever reason, like I just want to see how ridiculous the ending is because the writing is just god awful. I'm on chapter 45 right now.
I was gonna say maybe it's actually a ghost story, and it's something that they're doing to trick you. You think it's one thing, but it's really a ghost story.
I'm sure I'm thinking, like, I'm going to think it's one thing and then it's going to be another thing and then I'll think it's that thing and it'll be another thing. Like, it's very stupid. Very stupid. And there's no hiding it. It's just a really bad game, but for whatever reason, I'm compelled to finish it. And I don't even know if there's an official ending. Like, you have to wait 4 hours for every chapter. And a lot of times, a chapter can be completed in, like, 90 seconds. So you just sit there and you tap through a story. There's one option. I'll choose that. I want to say that. And then next chapter. You downloads the updates, and then it's like, you got to wait 4 hours. So I play, like, a couple of times a day, usually when I get up and when I go to sleep. And it's just a stupid game, but I'm just hopelessly just locked into beating this stupid thing. And I hope it ends soon because I don't want to be playing this for the next 6 weeks while they keep writing shitty episodes, you know? Like
Kyle K in the chat room says, are you going to go to a college to try out all the tips that you're learning?
I don't know. You know,
there's
I've
a
already
lot
been
of there's a
to
lot
and
of hunky men
graduated
at different college campuses.
You know, I've already been to and graduated from college, and you know, I think it'd be too much work to go back just to hit on some guys who may or may not be good looking.
And we said tweets by the Tony, and he appeared right in the chat room right after.
Oh shit!
Because he heard his name, so he's
his ears are burning.
He's stalking you.
Yeah, so I've been playing that, and it's fun. I've also, and I just realized that this is on the list, and I'm going to actually do a review of it this week, so I won't talk too much, but I've been playing Saints Row the 4th, and it's a hunk of shit. I don't know, did you ever get a chance to play it when I dropped it off? Because I dropped it off a day early.
No.
Okay, well, that's okay. You didn't miss much.
I like Saints Row.
Yeah, I do too. I thought the third one was really good, and it's going to be a weird review, so we'll talk about it a little bit later. I don't want to get too much into it, but I still think people should play this game. I just think it's garbage.
Wow,
and it's really sloppy. But again, we'll get into it later. But also playing a lot of Trials Evolution on the 360. Been yeah, that's a good point. A little bit later, won't happen. Trials Evolution on the 360. I've been playing it a ton. I really love this game, but it's a game that makes me like scream and rip my hair out. You know, more so than Call of Duty, this game induces so much rage because it's so punishingly difficult at every stretch. I finally got 135 medals so that I could unlock the last tier of races, which are the ninja difficulty, and I've completed 3 out of the 5 of them, and they're just mind-bogglingly difficult. I'm the one that I spent the most time on was, I can't remember what it was called, but it took me 230 something attempts to beat it, and I was playing it for like, I think it was like 27 minutes, and the cap is a half hour. So like I was getting to the end where I was like, if I don't beat this, if I spend a half an hour and I don't beat this, I'm going to be so pissed off. So I finally beat it, but I've got a couple left. And the good thing about Trials Evolution, if you haven't played this game, it's a ton of fun. Pick up the trial of Trials Evolution. It's on the PS3.
That's like gonna melt your mind when you think of it. Yeah. Oh my god!
It's on the PS3.
The trial of the trial.
It's on Steam. It's on Xbox 360. It's all over the place. Try it. It's really fun, but it gets extremely difficult. But the good thing about Evolution is there's this massive community of people who create tracks that you can download for free. So there, once you finish the game, and if you get gold on everything inside the main campaign, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of free maps that you don't have to pay a cent for, because some of them you have to unlock with DLC.
Right.
that you can just play for free and live. The game has like kind of like a Little Big Planet kind of thing where the lifespan is almost infinite. As long as people keep creating stuff, the game will live on. So I really love that game, but it makes me want to punch myself in the face so much sometimes. It's just so damn hard.
We should do that.
Down here.
We should do that and record it and post it on YouTube.
I sit down here and I scream at the top of my lungs, right? I'm fucking I was so close and just so mad at myself. When you get so close to a checkpoint and you friggin' fall and you've got to go back and you're just so mad. It's oh god. And Carly gets so mad at me because she can hear me upstairs and she's like, "Are you having fun down there?" And I'm like,
"Yes.
Eventually I will. Once I beat this goddamn level, I will have fun." But yeah, I have you ever played this game, Lloyd?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's fun.
It's very tough.
It's fun.
Ton of fun though.
Games like that, I think I was ruined with iOS. I played too many games where you have to get 3 stars on every level, and I didn't play that much Trials because I got to the point where I was getting frustrated, and it's just like, you know what, I don't need to beat every level. I had fun with the game, and that's all I need, and that's what I did. So it's a great game though.
Yeah,
it is.
It's for something that's so simple. I mean, it's literally gas, brake, and lean. So it's 3 buttons or 2 buttons and a control stick. So simple, but it can be so complex. That's very impressive. And this game, when it first came out as just Trials HD, had no reason to be good. It was made by like MTV Games Studio. I think some of the guys who founded Jackass put money into making this game or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Hey, no dissing Jackass. Come on.
No, I love Jay. I think it's funny as hell. But by that standard alone, this game had no reason to succeed, and yet it's one of the tightest control games I've ever played in my entire life. So I'm really digging that, and I play it all the time. And the last thing I've been playing is Tom Lent Me BioShock Infinite on the 360. I've been playing through that again. It's not as fun as the first time I played it. I beat it twice, once on the original difficulty and then once on 1999 mode on the PS3 before we reviewed it. And I think this time I might be just kind of breezing through it too quickly because I don't need to go and look over there. I know what's over
1999 mode?
Yeah.
Oh, that just drove me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I got angry.
It's so hard. That's a mode where if you're not using your vigor almost all the time, you're totally screwed. I mean, you're insanely screwed.
Yeah, it made me angry.
But I've been playing a lot of BioShock Infinite. I still think it's a great game. I'm not sure at this point if it's going to be one of my top 10 of the year, because I know that there are a lot of other games that I'm going to probably really love coming out very soon. So playing through it just to kind of go back and see how good it is. The game for me really only becomes this fantastic piece of art in that last third where things are just going batshit crazy, and then maybe the last 2 hours of the game where it's all of a sudden really, really deep. That kind of whole reveal and how the story gets told is still really fantastic. So at this point, I'm just kind of going through the motion, hey, shoot this guy, shoot that guy, they all look the same, and there's the crow. I still hate the crow guys. I hate those guys. Just one of the most frustrating enemies in any video game, but still a ton of fun. And that's what I've been playing this week. What about you?
Cool. Well, I've been playing, obviously, Disney Infinity, as I've said, and I don't really need to talk about it anymore. It's really good. If you have kids, it is definitely a game you'll want to play with them, is all I'll say. Besides that, I got a copy of Dragon's Crown on the PlayStation 3 and I've been playing through that. And if you guys don't remember Dragon's Crown, that's the game that had the really busty art style. So you had the women, the mage woman, basically with her big, large breasts hanging out and stuff. So I wanted to check out the game, not because of that, but because I like I like brawlers. You probably should have put
another sentence in between.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that is not going to go well together. No, I wanted to check out the game because I like brawlers. I picked it up on the PlayStation 3 to check it out. And I realized that this is a game that I will not be comfortable playing in front of my kids at all. It is absolutely just wow. Especially if you're playing at all and you see the magic user, the sorceress. She's the one that has the largest big flappy chest. And seriously, when she walks, it's like how is that possible? Like that defies all gravity. And I'm enjoying it. Besides, like all the craziness, like oh my god, did you see what they did there? Type stuff, which doesn't actually bother me at all. It just it's not a game that I can play when my kids are around, so I have to wait till they're in bed. Just because even though you're not playing as a sorceress, you encounter some of the enemies or some of the other characters, and get them to come in and join your party. You can have up to 4 people in your party, and you find bones as you go through and play missions. Then you can actually resurrect the bones, and they'll be one of the 4 character classes. So yeah, there's the enchantress, the sorceress or whatever, who's just ridiculous, but that's the art style, so it doesn't bother me, whatever. But then you have like the really horribly voice acted, like big, huge, bulky barbarian guy and stuff. And I mean, it's a fun game. I just haven't had enough time to play it because I've been spending all my time playing Disney Infinity with my kids. So I think this weekend I'll be spending some time when the kids are in bed and actually playing through some of Dragon's Crown. Playing on the PlayStation 3, and it is a cross-play or cross-save, I guess is what it is, game. So you can upload your save to the cloud. I think this is a game that I'm probably going to want to play on my Vita. So what I'll do is before I get rid of the game, give it back, I will upload my save to the cloud and then eventually pick it up on the Vita when it's cheaper, or maybe when it's something that's on sale digitally or something. So
yeah, that's a that's a very interesting thing that I never thought about with the Vita and the cross save thing, is that you buy like a $60 game, it's not all that good, but there's like a $30 version, go and trade it in. You might even break even. Just upload your cloud to the save, it'll be there forever, or you upload your save to the cloud. That could be actually very interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
never thought about it that way,
because I don't want to pay $90 for this game. I don't want to pay $50 for the PlayStation 3 and $40 for the Vita, but I'll pay $40 for the Vita later when I don't have anything to play, or $30 or $20 or whatever it goes on sale for, because it is a fun game. I mean, this game you can play forever. It basically goes to level 100 and then you can play in a harder mode, and then you can play in an even harder mode and level up your characters. So if you like,
is there a mode called even harder mode?
No, I think it's normal, hard, and then it's something to do with hell, I think is what is the next one. So it's like Inferno maybe. That's often used, so I don't think that is it, but it's something like that.
Insanity.
But yeah, it's a great game as far as beat 'em ups go. I'm really kind of digging it. It's got this really weird mechanic where on the PlayStation 3, your left analog stick is movement, and your right analog stick moves a cursor on the screen, and you use that to click on items for your little thief buddy to open. So if there's a locked chest, you click on it, but you have to move the cursor on the screen with your analog stick and click on it. Where on the Vita, you just tap it, and that's it. So it's like, this totally is meant for the Vita. But anyway, so yeah, playing some Dragon's Crown, digging it. Not playing as much as I would like, just because I've been doing some Disney Infinity with the kids and spending more time on that. And lastly, I've been playing a lot of Terraria on iOS. This is a game that's been out for a while on PC. It's basically a 2D Minecraft clone, Minecraft-alike, as some people want to call them now. And it has more RPG elements than Minecraft does. There's a lot of basically leveling up your character by putting different armor on, finding different things deeper, getting different items that give you power-ups and boosts. Like you can get a jar of clouds, which allows you to double jump, and stuff like that. So
a jar of clouds.
there's a lot of crazy stuff. There's boss battles. There's things to do in the game, which has been a lot of fun. It came out on iOS this week for $5, and I've been playing it on my iPad. I was actually just playing it a few minutes ago, digging ore, because that is fun, apparently. And I picked it up for $5 and wasn't sure what to expect. On the iPad, it has a really awesome control scheme. It has a virtual analog stick for movement. You really can't get away from that in a game like this. Yeah. But your digging mode, you can either touch the screen in the block where you want to dig, and it actually zooms in on that area, and it goes into a small little, like, kind of looks like a graph paper, and you can see all the different individual squares because they are pretty small in this game. Or you can use a virtual right analog stick and kind of do that as well. So you do a combination of using the virtual sticks and touching the screen where you want to go. It actually works really well. I'm actually kind of impressed at how well the controls are on iOS. I've played a lot of the other iOS Minecraft likes.
They're all just trash. Even the Minecraft Pocket Edition is garbage.
They're not bad. They're not bad for what they are.
I guess, yeah, you can say that for sure.
It's obviously it's not the full-fledged game. But yeah, Minecraft is fun on iOS. It's not Minecraft on PC, but they're not selling it as Minecraft on PC. That's why they call it Pocket. Junk Jack is one that I played a lot of. That was a lot of fun. There's a couple other ones that I really dug. Excuse me. But this one definitely is right up there. That's the one that I'm going to play a lot of. So yeah, that's about it, man. Playing a lot of Disney Infinity. I mean, that's like if you heard the special earlier this week, Joe Foreman just joined the chat room. Hey, welcome, Joe. And yeah, I played a lot of it, and I'm still playing a lot of it, and that is what we are doing here in this house. And the kids, like, as soon as my son wakes up, like this morning, I'm getting ready for work, and he wakes out of bed. He's rubbing his eyes. He's like, "Dad, I want to make a deal with you." I'm like, "Oh, what's the deal? You just woke up." He's like, "We're gonna play Disney Infinity tonight." I'm like, that's not a deal. That is a statement of what we're gonna do. And he's like, "Yeah, but I really want to play." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll play." So that is a whole they want to do is play Disney Infinity with me.
Your son needs to go back to school quickly because he needs to understand what deals are.
Yeah, it's because usually we work on deals, and it's like, okay, if you do this, you can do this. But for him, it's just like, I have a deal for you. I will play Disney Infinity with you today. It's
just a flat out demand.
You want to spend time with your dad? All right, I'll do that. I mean, that when he's older, maybe when he doesn't have anything to do with me when he's older, sure, that would be a deal. But nowadays, no. But yeah,
you should say what do I get out of this? What do I get out of this deal?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Kids love it. I love it. So do check it out. Look online or listen to the special that we put up earlier this week because it is really a lot of fun. All right, man. Let's get into the rest of the show. We have an email from James. It goes, "Hey guys. Just hearing some of the news out of Gamescom, and the thing that jumped out at me was the Vita price drop. I'm sure you'll be talking about it. So my question is, should I buy one? Is it worth the money? And if I do, what games should I get? Thanks, James." So no, James, thank you for sending in a question. You people listening in at home can do the same as James and email us at vgpodcast@gmail.com. Or call our voicemail line, 505-VG-PODCAST, and we can play it on a future episode of the podcast. But yeah, a Vita price drop. I was going to talk about it in the news because we missed it last week.
Yeah. So is this an email from this week or from last week?
It was an email from right when Gamescom was happening. So before we recorded last week, but we didn't do a show, so we couldn't read it. I read it last week, just in my head, just like, oh, I want to read this one on a Friday. So I did.
USS Girl in the chat room is leading a preemptive drink because she thinks I'm going to say a game that I'm not going to say. You have to wait until I say it, guys. You have to wait until I say it.
That's the bonus stage drinking game. Whenever Jeff says MLB or COD
or COD,
you can take a drink. Whenever apparently, what is it? I say Animal Crossing.
Well, I think it was going to be that because you had been saying it a lot, but
I've now played it in a week, man.
Yeah, you've taken a break, so
cold turkey or Campus
I
Crush
literally talked about it for weeks on end, again and again and again and again.
Yeah, it was annoying. It was annoying you, wasn't it?
So it wasn't annoying me at all. I love the damn game.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's get into this question. So at Gamescom, Sony dropped the price of the Vita to $199.
About damn time.
So it was $250, and now it's $199. So it's the same price as the 3DS XL. Good price for it. And they also said that they dropped the price, a substantial price drop for their memory cards, which turn out to be about $20 at the high end. So the $99 card is now $79, which is
like, I mean,
it's still $70 too expensive for what that memory costs them. But even like $50 would be understandable for that card. Like drop it in half. But they didn't. They dropped $20. Whatever.
I mean, they dropped it, which is like, you can't really, like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? But like, I really want to look this gift horse right in his stupid mouth and tell him he's an asshole, because $20 is almost a slap in the face. You know, I have the 8 GB card, which I think at the time was $30. I think it was $30. So, you know, that's okay, and I can hold, you know, a couple of games and a few demos on there, and that's about it. And then, you know, I kind of have to sometimes, every once in a while, I have to take something off if I'm buying a new game or whatever, you know, and I need some save data, you know. It's ridiculous. The memory cards are the biggest load of shit that's ever come out of Sony. The Pro Stick Duo, that was a huge disaster, you know, and it's fine now because the memory has come down in price. The fact that
it's still way too expensive.
They couldn't fit a Pro Stick Duo in this monster is BS.
What's even worse is they can't fit an SD card. They could have used SD, the 6-time SD card, and they would have done fine. Like they say, oh, it's because of memory speeds. No, it's not. Like the fastest SD cards are fast. So there's no reason to do it. I bought an 8 GB card along with my Vita and filled it up right away. And actually Sinister's in the chat room. He sent me a 32 GB card as kind of a, I've been listening to you podcast for 8 years kind of gift, which was really awesome. Thanks again, Sinister. And it is full. Like there's so much free stuff if you have PlayStation Plus. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And for the memory sticks to be so expensive, like they're still only shipping a 4 GB with the system. Which is asinine. It should be 16. It should be 32. That ships with the system.
The lowest they should sell is 8 because you can get by with 8. I mean, I've had mine since the day of launch, which I guess is now. Are we looking at 2 years now since launch or 1?
Jeez, when did it come out?
February of 2012, I think. So a year and a half.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been okay with it, but there's obviously a lot of stuff on the PS Plus thing. Like I just can't download it. You literally have to download something, or to download another game, I've got to delete something off there. Yeah. 8 is the lowest they should sell. And the prices should be according. Like, you know, $8 or 8 GB should cost, you know, $20.
There should be 8 gigs built in. Build in the freaking flash RAM.
There should be built-in memory. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
And then all your saves could be stored there, so that if you have to swap cards, you don't lose all your save games.
Yeah, the real problem with swapping cards is that they're so damn small that I don't ever want to take a card
too deeply and you swallow them.
And it's like a Tic Tac. You know, I don't want to take a card out of there. I want to have one card that has everything I need on it, and it's going to have spare space. 32 gigabytes, even at that. You know, even with how much stuff is on there, isn't big enough. You know, they should have one that's 64 gigabytes and the card should cost $50. You know, but the memory issue is a whole other thing with the Vita, and it's one of my biggest sticking points to date because it's so overpriced, and Sony always has to do this bullshit where they're like, well, you know, it's proprietary, so that we know it's guaranteed it'll work with our stuff. And I've never had a problem where I stuck a SD card into a computer and it was like, I don't know what this is. Yeah. What the hell is this stuff?
And do you know what's the best thing about that with SD cards? They're so cheap you buy another one. Yeah. It's like, oh crap, this 8 GB card doesn't work in my camera anymore. I'll go down and basically be given one for walking in the store because they're so cheap. Like I bought a 32 GB SD card for my 3DS XL. I got it on like it was like a Boxing Day sale or something. I paid like $16 for it. Like it was some stupid door crasher. But I got the same size card that Sony is selling for $100 or was selling for $100 for like 15, 16, 17, whatever it was. And that was a sale price. The normal price is still like $35. It's like a third the price. I don't know. It's asinine. So let's actually answer James's question instead of just bitching about memory. The Vita price drop, $199 is great. Should I buy one? You know, I'll say this, if you're going to buy a PlayStation 4, if you're going to be a PlayStation 4 gamer, yes. The fact that every game that doesn't require a special peripheral will be playable on your Vita is, for me, enough of a reason to own a Vita. I love the Wii U, playing the Wii U in off-screen mode. This is going to be an off-screen mode on a console that you can bring around the house with you. That is going to be a huge enough thing for me. As far as I'm concerned, every PlayStation 4 should come with a Vita because it's going to be that good of an
cool.
experience for people.
Yeah, I got to assume that at some point they'll sell some kind of $600 bundle that'll come with a Vita. Or something.
I'm sure they'll have a $400 bundle. Like how much is the Xbox 360? $399, right?
At this time,
no, it's $499. It's $499. The
360 or the Xbox.
Sorry,
One?
the Xbox One is $499.
$499.
The PS4 is going to be $399. So they'll have a $499 bundle that comes with a Vita, and it'll be like, wow, you can get that stupid camera that you don't like staring into your living room, or you can get a Vita and use it for other things besides that.
You get a Vita at half price? I don't know if they would do that.
Why not?
Well, $100 Vita?
Yeah, as a bundle to get people onto
I guess
the
it'll
ecosystem.
bolster the install base, which will do well for games, which means that people will buy them. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Probably not right out of the gate, though.
No, it'll be something maybe, well, no, it won't be right out of the gate. They would do it for holidays, but it's too soon. They'll do it mid, like summer, probably of next year. It's like, here, get a Vita, get your PlayStation 4.
Yeah, when it's slow, right?
Out.
You're like, well, we need people to buy this shit now, so that, come Q4, there's going to be more people who are going to buy games.
Exactly. So yeah, back to your question, James, if you're going to get a PlayStation 4, you want a Vita because it's going to be that much of a cool device to have in your house. Play your PlayStation 4 games on your Vita. That's going to be great. Is it worth the money? Depends. If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, yeah, you're getting hundreds of dollars in free games every month that you can play on your Vita. To answer your next question, what games should you get? Good question. The best games.
What games should I get? I don't even know at this point.
The best games are available right now on PlayStation Plus for free. Wipeout, Uncharted, really great games. There's a few other ones. I'm playing. I bought. I finally found a copy of Rayman Legends, or Rayman Origins rather, on my Vita. Bought it for like $30, and now it's free this month in PlayStation Plus. And it's like, damn it! Why did I buy a game? I should have just waited. But yeah,
is that something I can play on the Vita?
On Vita, yeah. It's coming out in September, the first week of September, I think. It will be That'll be the free game that month or that week. Sinister in the chat room says Gravity Rush. Gravity Rush is a pretty cool little Japanese game where you're basically jumping around the world, altering gravity. That's a lot of fun. I'm trying
easy to beat though. Like, as a terms of it, like, it's a fun game, but for like an experience, it's going to be 8 to 10 hours, something like that.
Yeah,
which seems like when you're holding the device, seems like a lot.
I've heard really good things about the new Sly Cooper game. I haven't played it. I'm playing my way through the original trilogy on my PlayStation 3. After I do that, I will be buying Sly Cooper, probably in a cross-buy bundle, so I could play it on both. That's good. And Killzone Mercenaries. That game is going to kick ass. I've been playing the multiplayer beta, and it is so good.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it later. It's fantastic.
Other games, there's a lot of indies. So you could be play Spelunky on your Vita. That is a great thing.
Yeah, that came out this week. I should have put that on the. It's not on the new release list, but that did come out this week for the Vita.
Yeah. What else? Rogue Legacy is going to be coming on the Vita, which is a roguelike type game, but it's basically lighting up the charts on the PC. Everybody loves it that has played it. That'll be out on the Vita as well. So I don't know. Is it worth it? And should you buy one? And what are the games? I mean, hopefully we answered it for you. I mean,
for me, I have a bit of a different answer for him than you do.
Okay.
For me, I think the price drop's great. Just the fact that it's come down at all is fantastic. I still think that $199 is too expensive. I think you do as well too, but you can't, like, at $50 when they're losing 20% of the price has been knocked down. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to if you should buy one, I still say no. And I've owned one since launch, and I still say no. And the reason is that because when it comes to the games, for me and for my money, I think a device is defined by its exclusives, games that were designed and built for that device and for that device only. So although there are some really good games that are ports and good games that, like, oh yeah, I can have my entire PS1 library mobile, that's awesome. Yeah, you can do that, but you're playing games you've already played before. And I want to buy a console so I can play games that I can't play anywhere else but there. And the Vita still hasn't sold me on its exclusives yet. There are some good ones. Uncharted's great, but it's only great once because you'll finish it in 12 hours, something like that, and there's no replayability. There's no multiplayer with it. There's no real reason to go and play it again unless you're somebody who likes to play it on a harder difficulty and get all the trophies. I know there are a lot of people like that. Sports games, they're going to come out every year, but there's nothing that's like specifically defined for the Vita. When it comes to FIFA, yeah, there's some cool stuff with the back touchpad and it be mirroring the goal, but it's only for when you do shootout, or a penalty kick, right? For other games, the touch screen and the actual motion control in it hasn't really come to fruition yet. No one's really taken great advantage of it, and even in a game that at this point I really love, like Killzone, it's so good. The touchscreen controls are still garbage. Like swiping to counter shit is never works for me. So, for that kind of stuff, I don't think it's worth the money. I think that the technology and the design is fantastic and it's really awesome. Feels great in your hands. It's a really robust piece of tech, but stuff that you can play on there that you can't play anywhere else, I don't think there's enough of yet. And that's why I still think that people should wait, which sucks because I'm someone who owns it and I benefit if a lot of people buy it because the people will make more games for it. And I'm telling people not to buy it, which in turn kind of hurts me, but I still think you should save your money. I think it should come down in price a little bit more, which should probably take another year at least. And I think there should be more games.
I think the price is good for the type of hardware you get. There's just,
yeah, I totally agree.
There just isn't the games there yet, but they're coming. I mean, there's a lot of great games coming, and the fact that if you're going to have a PlayStation 4, I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to have a PlayStation 4, but there's a bunch of people in the chat room.
Controller though,
Oh yeah, but it's not a controller. It's like having a tablet to do stuff on your television, or like it's an add-on. It's like the Wii. It's like the Wii Pad, the Wii control or gamepad.
Yeah,
a lot of people
make a good case with that.
A lot of people in the chat room are chatting about other games. There's Retro City Rampage. There's Assassin's Creed Liberation, which is actually really good portable Assassin's Creed.
I never played Assassin's Creed. You had it, right?
Yeah, I have it. It's great. A lot of fun. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. Not everybody likes Assassin's Creed, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There's what else? Hotline Miami, Guacamelee, Stealth Inc., Limbo, Tokyo Jungle, Mobile. There's a bunch of other ones. Persona 4 Golden. There's a lot of really good games, but the weird thing is most of the really good games, the games that I want to play, they're all indies. So it's like I'm not buying $60 games, and I'm okay with that. I live in a world where I have a $500 iPad and I buy 99-cent games, $2 games, $4 games, $5 games, $10 games. I'm okay buying small bite-sized packages on a system. I think the Vita. I think the Vita has a lot of life ahead of it. I thought it was pretty much dead.
I think a lot of people did.
And then the push to do the PlayStation 4 stuff, to get all the indies on it. Like, I know so many indies that are writing games right now that are going to be on the Vita, and it makes me really excited for the future of the console. $200 is great if there's enough games for you at this time. If there's 5 games you want to play, $200 is a decent price, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming. And if you have PlayStation Plus, no-brainer. If you're getting a PlayStation 4, it's kind of a no-brainer, because you're going to get so much more value out of that $200 when all that stuff happens. So
absolutely,
I don't know. All depends what the future holds for you, James. Personally, I think it's finally a system that I don't mind owning. Where after I bought it initially, it's just like, all right, why did I do this?
Yeah,
I knew I was going to hate
Call
it.
of Duty really sucks on this thing. Like, that's all I got.
Yeah, I knew I was not going to like this system. I bought it to play a couple games. Why did I do this? But yeah, sure enough, it's turned to be a system that I'm actually playing now, and I don't mind owning. So yeah, and just like Sinister, PlayStation Plus is the reason why I picked up a system, because it's like, oh, what, 5 free games that I want to play? All right, that's worth the $200 for me right there. So yeah, it's definitely more value than it was when it first came out, and it's pretty much to me it's worth it. To Jeff, it isn't. So
it's certainly increasing in value. Like, I mean, I still, even though I've I tell people not to buy it. My recommendation is to wait. I still really like it, but then again, I mean, I only play like a few games on it, and games that I really really love and love to have mobile. So for me, I really enjoy it, but I know that a lot of people aren't going to get the same value out of that out of it that I do. When I go to PNP and I look at their new and used Vita games, and they're basically the same games I've seen since the day it came out, that makes me a little bit unhappy,
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not that there aren't games. It's just that no one's buying games because no one has the system.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get used games when no one's buying games. And the whole PlayStation Plus didn't help that either, because a lot of the games that you would probably be buying used for $20 now are free. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting little system, more for indies, I guess. I think that's where I'm going to get most of my usage out of it, with the odd $40 system, game that I'm going to play on the system. But I think it's going to be mainly a second controller for my PlayStation 4 and something to play a lot of indie games on, which is unfortunate.
Well, but you know what? At least as long as you're using it, right? I mean, that's really if you're using the device, doesn't matter how you're using it. As long as you're enjoying it, that should be what counts.
Sure.
So that's totally cool. I think the Vita would have been in such a great position this time this year. Like if we were talking right now, if the Vita had launched at $199, it would have been a completely different conversation we're having today. Completely different.
Like if they would have sold a couple more million of units, you would have had a lot more developers writing software for the system, and it would have been different. But I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. And Sony somehow avoided doing a Nintendo where they're like, well, 2 months in, let's just drop the price by 40% or whatever.
Well, they had the plan. They had the PlayStation 4 plan. They knew that was their saving grace, I guess.
Either that, or they just they have too much pride and they would rather just take the loss continuously until they figured something out.
Could be that as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, good question. That was a good question.
Yeah, James, thanks for sending that in. And as we said, if you want to send in your question to answer on the show, vgpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll answer it as soon as we can. All right, let's quickly run down the new releases for the last couple weeks, and then we'll take a small break before we get into the rest of the show. So first up, the Bureau XCOM Declassified on 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. You might want to wait for a sale or a used copy on this one. I'm hearing some horrible things.
Tom really likes it, and that's the only person I've heard say something positive about it.
He likes weird stuff.
He's a big XCOM fan, though, so I think he's looking at it through that kind of, he's like, well, I really love the series, and this really isn't that bad, but he's the only one who said something positive.
Yeah, it's not getting some good reviews online. Also, we have Saints Row 4 on the 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. Jeff does not like it. It has a 75 on Metacritic, so it is getting decent reviews in some places, but yeah, it's very polarizing as well, which is kind of interesting. Splinter Cell Blacklist on the 360, PlayStation 3, and PC and Wii U. A lot of people are saying that you actually want to play it on the Wii U because of the controls that you take on with the gamepad. There's a lot of controls for little flying helicopters and peeking through doors and stuff like that. Pretty interesting. I might have to check this one out on the Wii U to see if it's worth playing. Check that one out.
If you're not going to play co-op, you might as well play it on the Wii U if you own one, because the co-op, I think, is where a lot of people really kind of are really liking this game. Seen a lot of YouTube videos go up lately with Blacklist gameplay for co-op.
There's no co-op on the Wii U?
If there is, I'd be surprised. I mean, maybe local co-op, but there's like online co-op.
I'm sure.
I don't know
if you can play online with the system. I'll have to look into that before I buy it for sure. I think you can, but I'm not positive on that.
Cool.
Of course, Disney Infinity came out a couple weeks ago, or a week and a bit ago. We talked about that. Sir, You Are Being Hunted on the PC came out as well.
Looks awesome, by the way.
Weird little game.
Yeah.
Check that one out. Flashback on 360.
Yeah, that's an Xbox Live Arcade game. I think it's like the last of their Summer of Arcade special.
Yep. SimCity The PC version of SimCity finally launched on the Mac yesterday.
Woo.
Had all sorts of launch problems because it's SimCity. And I installed it today and it worked. So it is working. Haven't played much of it on my Mac, but it's nice that now I have a copy on Origin that I can play on my Macintosh. So
yeah, I want to play that so bad. If I buy a copy of the PC version, do I get that as a Mac play as well too?
Yeah, it's one code on Origin for both platforms.
Cool. I should buy it on Steam because Tom's computer could run it if I just installed it. What is it? $40 or 50?
Yeah, 50.
Okay,
I want to say.
fine.
Yeah, I think it's 50. It might have dropped. I don't know. Maybe. Final Fantasy 14 Online, A Realm Reborn on the PC and the PlayStation 3.
Which is such an apt subtitle for how the launch of that kind of kicked off.
If you want to have a snapshot in MMO launch failures, this is a great one. Read up on a lot of the articles out there. It is fun reading, my friends. Did not go so well.
Yeah. I basically as bad as it did the first time.
Yeah.
Which is just so sad.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to do it right this time. Right into the ground. Yeah, it's terrible. And a couple other games came out this week. Lost Planet 3 on PC, PS3, and 360, and Madden NFL 25.
Quarter century for Madden.
Yeah, I remember
Madden
playing the
is
first
as
one.
old as I am.
You're young, so shut the hell up. No, I remember playing the original Madden when it came out, and it was a lot of fun. I don't play the footballs on my consoles at all, so I haven't played Madden for many years. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have played Madden off and on at friends' houses, but I've never bought it. So yeah. 25th anniversary of Madden is out. So
I played the demo. It feels okay. I actually have Madden 96 on the SNES on the shelf behind me, and that game has not gotten bad. That's a horrible way to say it. It hasn't aged at all. Like, it feels so good. It's so much fun. It's so stupid. It's like, everybody looks like, they stand like this, with their arms like completely 90 degrees, and they have balls for fists. It's just, it's so rad.
They have
so
what for
rad.
fists? Wow.
Balls, balls.
Oh, sorry. I just kind of confused there
they
for a
don't have
second.
Balls for fists.
I was like, that's a weird game that you're playing there, Jeff. But yeah, it's 25 years, man. That's crazy.
That's so
crazy. All right, we've been talking for a long time. Let's take a small break, get into our reviews, and then jump into some of the news. Maybe I'll filter out some of the stuff that isn't so interesting, because we've already been talking for like an hour on the show.
We didn't do a show last week, so
that's true. Yeah. Screw you guys. We're gonna do 3 hours.
Screw you.
That's it. All right, we'll take a small random chiptune break, and we'll get back out at it with a couple reviews. So see you guys in a couple minutes. So, Jeff, I'm putting you back. I'm unmuting you.
What the hell was that?
Well, the random track was 40 seconds long, and I was like, oh crap, what is it going to go into? And then it just went into some random chiptune from the Chipwin expansion pack called "Tommy Did the Walk-In," featuring Crayona and the Colorettes. What the hell?
That
oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had 2 instances on the show where it just did not work.
Terrible.
That first one was okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was
you give us like 2 extra
though.
minutes of that,
Oh, damn it.
Holy Christ.
Oh well, can't win them every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get Tommy Did the Walk-In.
It's kind of funny actually. I'm just sitting here playing baseball. I'm like, what the hell am I listening to? What the hell is this?
Yeah, it's so weird. All right, let's get into it. Killzone Mercenaries multiplayer beta came out, and both Jeff and I have been playing it. Jeff actually was was hounding me on text messages like, "Oh, did you play that yet? No, you should play it. It's really good. Oh yeah, I'll check it out. I've downloaded it. I haven't played it yet." And like a couple hours later, "So what do you think?"
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
Jeff, I have a job. I'm like, well, I get the hell. I just quit.
I haven't played it yet. I'll get to it. Then the next day. So, do you like it? Killzone Mercenaries is really good, eh? Dude, chill. I haven't played it yet. I will play it, I promise. And then I got into it and I'm like, okay, I kind of understand why you kept texting me because it is really good.
Oh, man.
Really, really good.
Yep.
So, this is the multiplayer beta. If you have PlayStation Plus, you can download it for free. And
yet another great little perk for PlayStation Plus.
Totally.
This is the first time I've been able to, because I've only been a PlayStation Plus owner for a few months now, that I've been able to kind of get access to one of these cool betas, and this is fantastic. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm on the inside track here. You know, this is a game that's going to be coming out in like 8 weeks or 10 weeks or something like that, and we're playing it so early, and you know, like our feedback is actually going to be taken into consideration to make this game better, which is awesome.
Yeah,
you know?
No, it's really good. So in this beta, you get access to multiplayer, one multiplayer mode, and one multiplayer map.
Yeah.
So it's not a big beta by any stretch of the imagination, but what they're doing is they're allowing you to level up. They're allowing you to do your stealth kills, do all that stuff. And then they're going to compile all the stats and all that stuff and see if there was choke points, if there's stuff that wasn't working, if there was lag issues. Really well thought out beta, even though they're not giving you that much content to get into it. And this is for the game Killzone Mercenaries, which is coming out. I'm just grabbing the date just so I'm not wrong. September 10th. So in a few weeks.
In a few weeks.
It'll be out.
It's way off.
Yeah, I don't know. I really dig it. As Jeff said in his text message, he's like, when you play it, it's like you're playing a PlayStation 3 game.
Yes.
And I've heard that before. I've heard that with Uncharted, and that is not entirely accurate. It looks good, but it has like issues. It has fake walls. It has really bad models and things in some areas.
Yeah.
This one looks like a PlayStation 3 game.
It's extremely impressive. I booted it up and I was like, what? Like, it just blew me away. The first thing I said out loud to myself was, this looks like a PS3 game. And I was blown away. The environment is so well rendered. Everything looks unbelievable. The textures are amazing. The enemy animations are fantastic. The game is really stunning. I mean, the best looking game on the Vita by far, hands down kind of thing. And the game also plays very well. It controls well. I had to kind of tool around the sensitivity a little bit to kind of get it to where I felt more comfortable with it. To me, the default sensitivity was a bit stiff. I wanted to be a little bit more loose as I kind of go around and shoot guys.
Sure.
Just pulling up your gun and shooting. I mean, it plays like a first-person shooter on a handheld, which, in my opinion, has not been done well ever. I think this is the first time. Call of Duty, declassified on the Vita was it just...
Don't even talk about that piece of crap.
It's a big hunk of trash.
You guys witnessed me throwing it in the garbage over my shoulder, and that's exactly what I thought about it. But then I had to fish it out of the garbage because Jeff wanted to borrow it. So I did.
Yeah, it was really bad. This game makes that game look like it was made by me, basically. That's how good this game is, and it plays well. It's a little strange because although there is one game mode to play, it's called Warzone, right? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, and in that game mode, there are 5 different objectives. So they take the Killzone 3 multiplayer thing of Warzone, which I loved, by the way, matches that are about 10 minutes or 12 minutes long, and every 2 or 3 minutes or so,
5
they
minutes.
change up. Is it 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they change up the objective. So
you have five set objectives, and there's 5-minute rounds.
Okay, cool.
So and
they feel shorter than that, but the game is really fast paced.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so every 5 minutes, they change up the objective, and sometimes you're hacking these turrets that'll drop from the sky or these capsules that'll drop from the sky, and you got to get whatever's inside of them, or you have to kill guys and then go up and pick up their Valor cards that they drop, which are, it's kill confirmed from Call of Duty or any other game type. Battlefield did it really well with their dog tags. And then they also have like just straight up team deathmatch, which is usually how the round ends. They're like, just go kill everybody, just go kill them all.
Yeah.
And
Kill everybody because that's what you do good anyway.
yeah, and it's just so much fun. I've been having a blast with it. This game after the first match sold me. I'm like, I'm getting this on launch. I'm gonna be going and putting a pre-order down when I go and put a pre-order down for GTA 5 because it's just unbelievable. I mean, I'm just blown away.
It's gonna be $40 when it launches as well.
Glad to pay it.
Which is a good price for a Vita game. I was hoping that it wouldn't be more expensive than that. And it isn't. So
honestly, the game could be $50 and I'd probably still buy it. That's how good it is. $60, I'd draw the line there. I'd say I don't know about that, but
yeah, it's really good. It's got a few little quirks. There's some matchmaking issues and laggy issues. I mean, that'll be worked out once there's more a bigger pool to draw from.
At least we hope so.
I really, really hope so. And it's got these weird things like to run. I couldn't figure out how to run in the game. And for the longest time, and I'm like, oh, what? Because I would touch the back touch panel sometimes, and I would just start running. It's like, what is that? So it's like, do you swipe it? Do you double tap it? Like I was like, oh, it's a double tap. So I would double tap, and then that would only work half the time. I'm like, well, that's not it. Like, what the hell do you do? And then I realized, O runs. So I could just hit a button. I don't have to worry about this stupid back panel thing. But it was just weird because I would trigger it randomly from the thing. So they could have done a better job explaining the controls, maybe.
The back panel still hasn't worked well.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Because there's not enough space to put the rest of your hand here, so you're always touching it some way or another. And unless you hold it like this, and that's really uncomfortable,
That's asking for carpal tunnel syndrome and painful surgery if you hold it that way. Yeah. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, it's not a huge multiplayer beta, and there's some people that are way overpowered, so they're obviously playing a lot of this.
I don't know if you looked at the leaderboards, but there's some guys on there who have been playing for like 3 or 4 days collectively on one map, one game mode. Wow. That is devotion right there.
No kidding.
Either that or it's the only game they've ever owned in their entire life,
They stole the Vita from someone, and they're playing this.
Like I'm on the leaderboards, like this multiplayer beta has been out for like 7 days, and you've played 3 already. Like that's insane.
Wow.
Go to sleep.
They're not in school yet. They're not in school yet. They start school next week in grade 7 or 5.
But you're very right in the fact that this is one of those games, and I hope they fix it, where the more you level up, the stronger gear you get, which I never think is a good idea because it discourages new players from joining in. With Call of Duty, I talk about this way too much, but Call of Duty gets it right or even Halo for that matter gets it right. Battlefield gets it right. All the weapons are balanced. Yeah. To a certain degree. Some of them are more powerful than others, but not by much, right? And every gun has its certain cons and pros. This one will do good in close quarters, this one at range, whatever. But in Killzone, there are clearly guns that are way better than anything I'm using. Right?
There's a sniper rifle, and people are basically just firing from the hip and destroying you with a sniper rifle. No, sniper rifle is for sniping. It's not for running up on someone and shooting them in the face. That is a shotgun, and the shotgun's overpowered too. So that's another one.
The shotgun has a crazy damage at a distance.
Oh, yeah, it's like. So did they screw this up? Is a shotgun the sniper and the sniper the shotgun? Like. It's just really
both
weird.
The same apparently.
But yeah, like you start with a machine gun, which is pretty powerful, and then you upgrade to the next one, and it should be more powerful, and it isn't, and then you get owned by people shooting you with their sniper rifles from basically close range. And I don't know. I like it. I like the weapons. I hope they balance it out a little bit more or make it a little bit easier to kind of filter out the people that are using the weapons that you dislike.
Maybe a skill-based matchmaking would be nice.
I'm
for curious as to whether or not these weapon issues are more of a balance issue or more of a lag issue. Like we don't see the kind of like this guy's got like 3 shots on me, but on my screen because of the lag it's only 1, and it seems unfair.
Well, yeah,
because they don't really have a kill cam or anything, so you can't really study it to look. Well, so it could be one or the other.
It could be. Like I was telling you before we started recording, like there was this one match where a guy came running around a corner. I followed him over a bridge and emptied a full clip into his back, and he didn't die. He disappeared and then killed me because
from behind.
Yeah, because what had happened is he lagged out and he actually didn't run around the corner. He basically stuck on some geometry running around the corner is what I assume, and I killed him, although I didn't because he really wasn't there. He resynced and then came up behind me and is like, why is this idiot just running into this area and stopping? And he basically just shot me and I died. It's like, oh, okay, the guy that I was killing disappeared and then came behind me and killed me. That's a really good power.
That's a perk I haven't unlocked yet. The invincibility 180 behind the back kill.
The temporal hole / shield. I haven't unlocked that. This game does really cool thing. Every once in a while on the map, these little missile-like things will fall. If you run up to them, you hit a button to hack them. Sometimes they will just open up and give you the items. Other times you have to hack into them. And they give you things like this little UAV type thing that can go around and basically pinch people's faces with big pointy objects, which is a lot of fun. So you basically go and it's just like you get this little kill cam of this face and these things just go whack right in their temples. And it's like, oh, that's kind of neat. There's ones where you just touch the screen and shoot missiles. There's ones where you're in like a one of those big attack planes that fly,
I've
like
got
the AC 180 or whatever,
130.
AC 130 is what it's called. In this game, it's obviously not that, but it's kind of like that. There's ones where you get this overshield that basically is in front of you, which basically...
That one's cool too.
I kind of like that.
Sponges a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does. So the perks and things are really cool, and I didn't like it at the start because I couldn't figure out how to open these things, and then I figured out how to open them, and I was okay. But I found myself enjoying it, and this is coming from a guy that doesn't play online multiplayer. And I think I don't play online multiplayer because the people that play online multiplayer, I don't like hearing them. And this game doesn't have anybody talking on voice chat, which is great. I guess you could use voice chat, but no one seems to be doing it. So
so here's a question, right? Like, it's got a microphone and a camera built in.
Yep.
Right?
You can turn that on if you want.
Oh, so I can talk to people?
I don't know. I haven't tried. I assume because it has an icon of the microphone with a circle and with a line through it. I'm assuming you could turn it on. You can also use a headset mic, like an iTunes headset or whatever, I believe, to talk on them as well. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it because there aren't 12-year-old kids laughing at me because they shot me once.
There are, but you can't hear them.
Exactly. They're there killing me. They're just not laughing at me, which is always something on Xbox that and using like racial slurs and swears and other homophobic things at the same time, which is like, why am I playing this? This isn't fun for me. But yeah, it's good. I really, really kind of dig it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the full release.
Yeah, I think at this point, my kind of biggest problem with the game is, the little bit of lag is a little bit of an issue. The kind of, it's just sometimes very unclear what the hell you're supposed to do, and I feel like the Vita is a really great, powerful system, but it lacks one thing that I think would make the controls on this game a lot better, and that's the control sticks should also be buttons that can be depressed. But I get the feeling like maybe with the design and how small they are, they might be easy to break or something. Yeah,
but it'd be nice if they had a second trigger as well, because I keep looking for that as well, which you obviously can't do on a handheld. I also really hate, and this is my my kind of the thing that really pisses me off the most, is the kind of, sometimes guys will come up behind you and they're going to stab you, but it'll give you like a quick time thing where you can swipe down on the screen to counter. And when your fingers are like this, you don't really have the time to position your wrists and, move your finger to kind of get... I always die. Every single time I die. I've countered once, so it is possible.
Oh, it is possible? Well, that's great.
But it is tough. And
I think it
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. You get stuck up behind and stuff. Yep. I really hate a game like this where you need to be on the sticks the entire time, and you need to be fast. You need to be faster than the other guy. Your reactions has to be good. For them to hey, take your thumb off and swipe the screen, just get that out of the game. That doesn't need to be there. I don't like touchscreen on this device at all. I think the back touch panel is still, it's still not anywhere near where it's supposed to be. It was great in Uncharted where you just did this on the back touchscreen and he climbed the rope. That was cool. Mm-hmm. But that's the only time it's ever been cool, you know? And I kind of wish that wasn't in the game. A lot of games will have in-game, in the options, they'll say, oh, you can turn off the touchscreen controls if you don't want them. Uncharted was like that. So I'm hoping they have that option because I will turn it off, but very excited for this game. And if the multiplayer looks this good, the single player is going to look way better.
Yeah, the single player is going to probably look stupid.
Which is going to just blow my friggin' mind.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for Shooter, which is odd for me. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, that's the Killzone multiplayer beta. Check it out. If you have PlayStation Plus, there's no reason not to because it's free. And let us know what you think. Yeah, I guess that's it. Saints Row 4. Jeff, why don't you tell us about that?
Okay,
I'll let you have the full camera. I'll switch over right to you so we could see the veins pulsating on your forehead.
Yeah. Okay, so PMP was sponsored review, by the way, so thanks to PMP for supporting the show and giving us games to review. This game, I was very excited to play it. Loved Saints Row the Third. Very fun game, very silly, very stupid. I never liked how the third game ended. I always thought it was like, this is really strange, but still very funny. Excited for 4. A lot of great stuff coming out pre-launch. Dubstep gun is cool. The gun that makes people kind of expands them, makes them blow up. That's cool. Superhero powers. That's awesome. You get to jump really high and fly around like Crackdown. And there's all these agility orbs around. That's cool. Let's talk about the good stuff of this game. In my opinion, there's not much. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to just cause havoc and just wreak destruction all over the place and pick up cars with your telekinesis power and whip them across the town. The game starts out, you're the president, just because. Actually, the game doesn't start there. The game starts where you're raiding this military base, and you go and you stop a nuclear warhead from destroying the world. And then now you're the president, and the first choice they get you to make in the game is whether or not to either solve world hunger or cure cancer. And it's just pull the right trigger or left trigger for which one you want. And Keith David is the vice president, which is hilarious. Love Keith David. He's had a second career as a video game voice actor, which is fantastic because his voice is fantastic. He's Commander Shepard in Mass Effect. He's in this game. He's in a bunch of the Call of Duties because he's got a great military voice. And he just holds up 2 parchments. He's like, hey, which one do you want to do? Cure cancer or solve world hunger? And it says on the cure cancer one, it says the bill is called fuck cancer. And on the world hunger one, it's called let them eat cake. It's super funny. And then you just walk down the hall and there's a pundit who is, I guess, on the other side of whatever, if you're liberal or conservative or whatever. And he's like, if you think you're going to get away with this, whatever. And then it's just 2 options where it's take the high road or take the low road. And if you take the low road, you just punch him in the balls and then he just falls over. It's hilarious. And then you're about to make a speech and aliens invade. Why? Who the hell knows? Aliens invade, they abduct a lot of people. You get on the White House lawn in a mounted red, white, and blue mounted turret gun, and you're just blowing the shit out of all these spaceships that come in. At one point, all the spaceships line up like they do in Space Invaders, and they're just moving across the screen, and it's hilarious. And then basically what happens is you get sucked into the Matrix. They make no bones about it. This is the Matrix, and the Matrix is Steelport as a simulation. So it's the same city. It's always at night, perpetually night. And what you do is you have to try and figure out a way to get unplugged. So Kinsey helps you get unplugged, and then they do the whole Matrix thing as well too, where you're in a vat of goo, right? And it's keeping you alive, and they just have you plugged in, and then you're naked and you're fighting your way off of a space station, and they come and pick you up, and then you have to go back into the simulation, back into the Matrix. You get stronger and stronger. You unlock all the different areas in the city and make them basically you make them in the third game you had to take them over from rival gangs. Same thing, but you're taking them over from aliens. Turn it blue instead of red, basically. Blue is your color, red is the alien's color. And what ends up happening, I won't spoil it too much because I think some of the stuff is better left unsaid, because when you kind of experience it, it's really, really funny. There's some really funny writing in here, but you go and you save all your friends, and then you just kind of fight the alien and try to kill it at the end. All that stuff was well and good, but the game relies so much on you being a superhero kind of thing, or Neo, whoever, however you want to say it, that it becomes really sloppy really quickly. So there are cars everywhere, a bunch of new vehicles, and tons of ways to customize them and make them faster, or paint jobs or whatever. And almost immediately, you don't need a car anymore. Almost, in the first 2 hours, you can run faster than any vehicle. You can jump higher than any plane will take you. And because there are all these agility orbs all over the place, you're constantly upgrading your skills. You get more powerful, more powerful. Every 10 minutes, you're upgrading something, which is awesome. But now the only way you're going to get around the city is jumping around and flying around, because that's the fun way. So all these cars now are completely pointless. And I kind of feel bad for the guy who went to, worked to design all these cars, because no one's ever going to use them. So you're jumping around the city, and I think the controls of the game can't compensate for how fast and agile you are. Because a lot of times you're like, I just need to jump up to this one point and get this agility orb, kind of like in Crackdown, and you just can't do it. You're trying so hard to jump up on this roof, and you're just jumping all over the place, and there's no finesse to it. Another thing that really bugs me is eventually these bigger, stronger aliens called wardens come after you. And they all have a special power, right? So, some guys will have a kind of a shield, and you have to knock it down with your fire spell or your ice spell, and then you can shoot them. And these guys are either way too easy, you'll mop the floor with them in a few seconds, or way too difficult, where you have to knock down this guy's shield, I've got to throw a car at him, or I've got to throw a person at him. And then he's jumping around all over the place, and it's just so sloppy. You have no real fine control. You're getting knocked back all the time. There were times where there was this warden I was trying to beat, and he was so frustrating. I ran across the city. This is a boss fight. I run to the other side of Steelport, right? 3 islands over. And I turn around, and the indicator is still, pointing where he is. And I look on the minimap, and he's way, way back there. Just thousands of feet back there. And I probably waited for 3 minutes holding a car. He's going to come down this road eventually. He comes down the road. I whip the car at him, and then I, take him out. But it was just, it's a very sloppy game. There's nothing, it feels like it's not finished. It feels like it was really rushed. It looks awful. It looks terrible. It looks worse than Saints Row the Third. It kind of looks like a launch title on the 360. I think the development team clearly couldn't get any more graphical fidelity out of the game. There's a lot of glitches all over the place where I get stuck in the geometry. If I jump too fast, I'll get stuck in a fire escape on the side of a building, or I'll get stuck in the ground if I jump. I'll jump up really high and come down and pound the ground, and then now I'm stuck in the cement. And I don't know if that's intentional, that's supposed to be funny because it's the Matrix and a lot of the game is glitchy, but it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like it's really sloppy. The game really falls apart quickly, and it's just not interesting. I mean, there's nothing really interesting to do. The game is essentially save your friends and then kill the alien. And the main story is maybe 6 hours to do all that stuff, and they kind of bank that you will do all the side missions, which are just go and, take over this part of the city. Go to this massive big pylon, take out the shield generators, go in, hack it, destroy it, and then, basically take it over for yourself. All of that is fun the first time, but you're just doing it again and again and again. You got to do it 20 times, and it never gets any more interesting. They never add another element to it. It's just, there's a bunch of guys stationed here. Go destroy the shield, kill them all, hack the thing, and then it's yours. And you do that 19 more times after that. And that becomes really, really boring. And it becomes boring really quickly. The writing is fun. The characters are fun and funny, and there's a lot of really funny situations. But at the end of the day, this really does, to me anyway, feel like Saints Row 3.5. We all know that this was supposed to be, or that they were trying to make a DLC, and they're like, actually, let's make this a full game. It really does feel like a piece of DLC. I think it's overpriced. I think that for my money, I'm glad I didn't buy it. I bought it for Carly, and she really likes it, so that's cool. Here's kind of where this review gets weird, though. I still think people should play it. If you liked Saints Row the Third, you'll love this game. You really will. And some of these things might piss you off less than they pissed me off. And that's kind of where the subjective thing in the review comes in, right? Where they really drove me crazy and I really started to hate the game quickly, but you might really like it. You might think it's funny, or you might think that this way of traversing the city is really fun, and it is, but there's so much other things, or so many other things in this game that are left unfinished, like you'll never need to drive a car again, which is okay. You'll never want to fast travel anywhere because you can just jump and bound buildings all over the place. But because that becomes so, there's no your middle ground powers, right? You're the normal person, and then all of a sudden you're a superhero, and there's no in between. There's no getting better. It's just, I'm normal, and now I'm fantastic, and I can keep getting better until I'm way overpowered. At some point, you learn melee moves. You can just barrel into anyone, do a wrestling move, slam them on the ground. You're taking no damage because it's like a cinematic, and then you just do that again to all the guys, and you'll never die, basically. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be intentional or not. Are they trying to make this intentionally bad? Is that supposed to be the joke, or is it really this bad? I mean, I just don't know. But I still think people should play it. If you like the third one, I think you'll get a kick out of this one. I mean, it really is the same game, so in that regard, you can't go wrong. There's just a lot of stuff that is just very, very sloppy. And it was very disappointing, so I really didn't like it, but I'm in the minority on this one, so I think you'll have to, take that with a grain of salt that I didn't like it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Are you thinking about picking it up?
It's something that I'm going to play for sure. To me, it seems just like that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a game where you're super overpowered, because I mean that was the fun in Crackdown. Crackdown wasn't fun when you were not agility orbed up the wazoo. Yes. It was fun when you were jumping from the ground and jumping over buildings and picking up cars and throwing them and all that fun stuff. And I think that's what this is. It's a sandbox, but it's a sandbox with crazy humor and crazy overpowered superpowers. So just like Foreman in the chat room says, wait for a sale. It'll be $30 on Black Friday and free on PlayStation Plus by Easter. And that is probably right. True, because that's how I got Saints Row 2 and Saints Row the Third was free on PlayStation Plus. So this one will probably be on there too.
I think that's comparing it to Crackdown is easy to do, because in that regard they're basically identical, right down to the agility orbs. The thing I liked about Crackdown is that you had to play well to get better. There's always that one agility orb that you can't get to. Mm-hmm. But here, within about an hour of being a superhero, you can get to basically everything. If you're good enough at the game and understand the controls well enough, you can get to every agility orb, and you could clean out the city in your first day, which I think is a detriment to the game, because in Crackdown part of the fun was, I don't have the powers to kind of jump around the city yet, so I'm going to take this car and I'm going to drive around and I'm going to find all these little kind of nooks and crannies and really explore the city. But here, Steelport's a really cool place to be.
Excuse me.
And yet you spend so much time flying over the top of it, not seeing any of it. You just go from point. It's almost like fast traveling, because you don't really get to experience the journey from A to B. You're just like, and you're there. That kind of bugged me a little bit. Yeah. And it's just I kind of wish there was a point where you're getting your skills better, but they're not quite that powerful so quickly.
Sure. No, I want to play it. I want to play it just so I can see how I feel about it, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I'd be curious because you've played Saints Row the Third as well too. Yeah, I haven't. And they are very similar. I should probably go back and finish it before I play 4, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just different strokes for different folks. For me, finding the first few. Agility orbs in Crackdown was great, but jumping around looking for the last few was just like, ugh. And then I basically went online to find an FAQ with images on where the final agility orbs were, so I could get the rest of them. But yeah, it's good. I don't know. It's a game that I definitely want to play, so I'll have to do that.
Another thing that kind of drove me crazy about this game is that in Saints Row the Third, the ceiling to the game world was really, really high. You could take a plane steal a plane from the airport and fly it up super, super high and then jump out, and you'd be falling for like a minute and a half. But in this game, it's like a third the height. As high as you can jump. There's super tall buildings that you can get on top of, right? It's like, I want to go higher. Like, I want to just smash into the ground from like thousands of feet. But there's like a ceiling there, that's because that's where the spaceship is, and he's got this shield. I don't know if eventually you take down that shield and you can, get really, really high in the game world, but it's like a third smaller vertically than it should be, especially considering how high you can just jump on your own.
Right.
So that was a little bit disappointing as well too. But again, I think you should still play it if you're, don't let me turn you off of it. If you agree with me, then yeah, that's fine. But if you really enjoyed Saints Row Third, I think very few are going to be like me and not like this game.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the review.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's get into the rest of the show. So we got a few news items for you. Excuse me. I'm slowly breaking down as the show gets on a little longer.
My throat's getting a little hoarse as well.
So first up, Nintendo had some big news this week. I covered it a lot on the Nintendo Pulse podcast, but I thought we'd talk about it here.
Cool.
The first is the Wii U has a price drop. It will be having a price drop. The price hasn't dropped yet, but it will drop at some point.
The Vita price drop was effective that day, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how they should do it.
Yeah. So the system has dropped $50 to $299, which that's for the deluxe bundle. So I mean that's a good price for it. I was hoping $250, but I knew I was talking crazy when I said $250. And the price drop doesn't happen till the 20th. When they come out with the new bundle, they're coming out with a Wind Waker HD Wii U bundle, which comes with a copy of Wind Waker HD, which is a $50 game. It comes with a Wii U gamepad that has some nice little gold details on it, Triforce and such. And it also comes with a copy of Hyrule Historia, which is a $40 book, which is like, holy crap, they're throwing in $90 worth of stuff into here. But then you read closer, and it's a digital download of Wind Waker HD, and it's a digital copy of Hyrule Historia.
Oh, crap. A digital copy of that book, which is like a fantastic coffee table book, that's crap.
Yeah, it's something that I love the book, and I wouldn't like it.
You have two copies, right? One that's wrapped and one that's...
No, I have one copy.
Okay.
I just have my one copy that I opened up. So still, I mean, that's coming out on September 20th, and it's going to be $300. So you're getting all that stuff for the price, even though it's digital. I mean, that's still good. That's still a really good price. The kicker here is Wind Waker comes out on October 4th. If you buy this bundle, it's available on the 20th of September. If you go to the eShop on September 20th, you can also download it. So Nintendo is now giving you the game a couple weeks early if you buy it digitally before you can get it in stores. So this is like, well, it's the first shot across the bow of all the big retailers saying to people that are hardcore gamers, if you want your games right away, download them digitally.
Pretty smart.
It is smart. Totally smart. It sucks for me because I pre-ordered it as a physical copy. So it's like, damn it. I kind of want it early, but I also kind of want the disc. So I'll probably still wait till October to pick it up. But yeah.
It's only 2 weeks, right? Like if it was like 4 weeks or something, like, oh man, that's big. That's a game changer, you know?
Totally. So Wii U price dropped to $299. Zelda Wind Waker HD bundle available on September 20th, also $299. And then out of left field, they came
actually. If I could just say one thing about the price drop,
sure.
Fantastic move by them. Aside from not still changing the name of the console, dropping the price is a good start to kind of spur more sales. But what they've effectively done is that for the next 3 weeks or whatever, they no one's gonna. If anybody's doing research on this thing, why would you buy it? So like the next 3 weeks of their sales are going to be crap.
To be fair, who's buying the Wii U right now anyway?
That's true.
They're selling 10,000 copies or 10,000 consoles in 3 months. So it's not high on anybody's list right now. So I don't think this is really hurting them that much.
Very good point. They should just have it effective immediately, though.
Yeah, and they should.
Kickstart those sales. You could get.
And
whatever.
It's actually been on sale in a lot of places. I saw out in the States, Target and Target, Best Buy, and Walmart, I think, had it for $2.99 for a while. So you're probably going to find every store is still going to have it at $2.99 from here on out. But
cool.
Officially, it doesn't price drop till September 20th, which is really bizarre. And then also in that announcement, they announced a new handheld console, the Nintendo 2DS. It is a 2D version of the 3DS, so it doesn't play games in 3D.
It's just a DS.
It plays 3DS games though, so it's not just a DS.
I didn't know it played 3DS games.
Yeah, it plays 3DS games in 2D, and it plays DS games.
Well, that's really cool.
So it'll play all the software in that form factor on the system. It's not a clamshell anymore. It's basically like a tablet-like device that has the two screens on the face of this little plastic square.
It's ugly. It's real ugly.
I wouldn't call it ugly, but it's not sexy. It's also only $129, which is a really good price point.
The price is sexy.
The price is sexy. It comes out on the same day as Pokemon, and this is the first Pokemon that is a 3D version of Pokemon. Or sorry, a 3DS version of Pokemon by itself. So these are kids that have been buying the DS version of Pokemon and playing it, and maybe they want to upsell their parents on a new console. And the parents look at the flyers and they say, "Oh, $199? Hell no, I'm not buying you a new handheld. You have your DS. You can play that one." Then they show them. Or the parents see this, or the kids show it this, and it's like, oh, it's $129, and then I could buy the new Pokemon for my kids on October 12th, which is the same day that everything all comes out. That is actually a pretty good thing for Nintendo to do. It's a very smart thing. Whether you like it or not, the look of it, this device is permanently marketed at the young kid market, the people whose parents were scared that the 3D would hurt their eyes. So it's not for us. It's not for the game pundits or game journalists that are calling it the biggest mistake that Nintendo ever made. It's not marketed for them. It's marketed for the little kids. And when it first was announced, I was like, oh, really? Was this is it April Fool's Day? What's Nintendo doing? But then I thought more about it. It's coming out on Pokemon Day. It's going to be a Pokemon player for people that only play Pokemon. They're going to sell 1 million of these in the first month. This is going to sell like crazy. Actually, I'm buying one on day one. I'm going to be buying a white and red one on day one because my daughter, I still need to get her a new console. And I saw this. I've been kind of humming and hawing about which 3DS I was going to get her. This came out. It's like, you know what? This is perfect for her. She doesn't need 3D.
Didn't Max get her one though?
Max got her a game.
Oh, the game.
So yeah, I keep wanting to record a thank you to Max. This is really awesome. I'll talk about it here. My daughter lost her DS. She had a pink DS Lite and a copy of Super Princess Peach in it. She was in a walking boot. She hurt her foot, and she was in a walking boot for about a month. On the last trip to the hospital, she had her DS in her purse, and I guess she didn't zip it up. She got into the car, and it fell out. At least that's where we think it happened. So she lost her DS and Super Princess Peach. So her favorite thing with her that plays her favorite game. When we figured out what happened, she was inconsolable. She was crying. She was so sad. And we're like, we'll replace it. She's like, yeah, but I want mine. And she was so sad. She's 5. She's turning 6 in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But she was just like, this rocked her world. I talked about it on Twitter. I talked about it on Facebook. And one of the listeners to the show, Max, he's a local here in Winnipeg. He posted on the Facebook post. He's like, yeah, that happened to me when I was a kid. Hopefully you find it. I stayed at a hotel and left a bunch of stuff in the hotel room, and we called back and it was all gone, and someone took it, and it was so sad. And I really hope you find it. a couple weeks later, he sends me a message. He's like, "Hey, did you ever find a copy of Super Princess Peach?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't bought anything yet. I've been looking on eBay or whatever." He's like, "Oh, well, I got you a copy for your daughter." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, no, I got you a copy. Don't worry about it. You can come pick it up. Can you come pick it up today or tomorrow or whatever?" So we made arrangements, brought my daughter out there to pick it up. And she's really shy around people she doesn't know. So she's kind of like looking at the ground. And he's like, "Here, I got you some buttons from Animal Crossing." And she looks at them. She's like, "Oh, they're nice. Thank you." And he's like, "Oh, here's the game." And she takes it and she puts it in her hand. She puts her head down. I'm like, "Allie, what is that?" She's like, "Super Princess Peach." I'm like, "Do you like it?" "Yeah, I missed it, so I'm very happy." And I'm like, "Well, can you say thank you?" And she looks up. She's like, "Thank you." And I'm like, "His name's Max." "Thank you, Max." And she was like really meek, and I was just like, wow, this is kind of awkward. She's not super happy or anything. It's like, is she upset? So I shake his hand and say thank you, and we chat for a little bit. Get in the car, and she had the biggest smile from ear to ear. Like it was the exact opposite of when she lost it. So Max, you are awesome. I can't thank you enough for brightening my daughter's day. She's been playing that game pretty much every day ever since on my son's DS Lite. And she is super stoked. So our listeners are the best listeners. I just wanted to throw that out there. So
yeah, he's a good guy. He's been a friend of the show for a long time.
And Max, you're cool. I love it. Thanks so much again. So anyway, I haven't gotten her a new replacement console, and this will be the one. It's $129. So pretty much for the cost of a 3DS XL, I could buy two of these, one for each kid. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the red and white one now, and then maybe closer to the holidays, maybe we'll get a blue and black one for my son, because I don't want them playing in 3D. Like, there's no proof that 3D is going to hurt their eyes. Even if there's a little chance of that happening, I don't want that to happen. So I'll buying the system for them, getting the little neoprene pouches that they're going to be selling at the same time. There's these little bags that have Nintendo on it. They're going to be selling for like $13. And yeah, there you go. It's a little tablet-like thing. Oddly enough, in the guts of the system, it's one big touchscreen, and they're kind of separating it with plastic, and they've put a hard plastic cover over the top screen so you don't touch it. But it is one big touchscreen. So if Nintendo wanted, they could have like put a new firmware in there that recognized touches on the top screen and done all sorts of weird things. Obviously, that would have splintered the market. They would never have done that.
It's got to be a cost-saving thing, right? Where instead of having two smaller cut screens.
Yeah, it's like buy one big screen and just use software to do it. I mean, it totally makes sense. It makes me wish that they did it in the XL form factor, because the bigger screens would be way better. But maybe that'll be coming in 6 months or
that'd be
9
a
months
giant friggin' thing, though. I mean, you'd be holding it like this, you know.
Well,
I actually
it wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be wider than the XL is right now. It would be the same width.
I guess, yeah, like it's really just the screens that'd be bigger.
Yeah, it would be a little bit wider and a little bit taller. It would just be maybe an inch more at an angle, maybe an inch and a half. So it wouldn't be much bigger. But I guess those screens cost a lot more money. And Nintendo wanted to sell this at as cheap as they possibly could.
Yeah, and I did not know that it played 3DS games, but just only in 2D. Because actually,
that would be redonkulous.
Yeah, it'd be a stupid device. I think this is a great idea. The price point's amazing. And I actually, if I hadn't bought your DS off of you, I might actually go out and buy this, because I couldn't give a shit about 3D. Yeah, I think it's stupid.
3D can go die in a fire. That's
like I pretty much play with it off all the time anyway. Sometimes I feel like I have to because I have the device, but then the battery life takes like a 20% hit.
Yeah, like there were a few games that almost, they didn't require it, but there was puzzles based around the 3D, like Super Mario 3D Land. There was some puzzles where if you looked at it in 2D, it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't apparent exactly what the solution was. As soon as you turn on 3D, it's like, oh, I go here and jump here, and there you go. You could totally play those in 2D. It just wouldn't be as apparent. On my 3DS XL, I don't think the little matrix thing in between the screens that kind of blocks it out when you go into 3D mode, I don't think it works quite as well as it did on my original 3DS. So when I'm put in 3D mode, there's like a little bit of a black line in the middle, sort of. So for me, it's been super distracting playing in 3D since I got my new system. So I haven't played really much in 3D at all since I got my 3DS XL. So I wouldn't miss it at all if it wasn't there. I don't need it. And I don't think anybody does. It doesn't really add much.
Yeah,
except headaches.
Yeah, you know what? I don't get headaches from this because I think for me the glasses give me the headache most of the time when it's the 3D stuff. I don't think it's you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, it looks awful," but like, actually, it's quite impressive how good the 3D is. I just don't think it's necessary in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, for someone who doesn't care about 3D and doesn't want to pay the extra $70 or $100 or whatever it is to kind of go up and buy the
40
you know, the
for
XL.
40 for the regular, 70 for the XL.
Yeah, you know, it's like, well, I got to pay the extra for 3D now. You know, it might not just be marketed to kids. Like they could actually, I don't care about 3D, but you know, now it's the upgraded hardware. So
Totally.
I think it's cool. I think it looks really ugly, and I don't think form factor wise, it's going to feel all that good in your hands. But
I read an article today. I think it was on Polygon where, or maybe it was on Joystick or Kotaku. It was one of those sites. I should have saved it. I didn't. And one of the big haters on the first day actually got a chance to go hands on, and it was like, contrary to everything that I thought going into this event, it actually is comfortable. It's lighter than your 3DS XL. It actually doesn't feel weird to hold it. And so I read that and I'm like, oh, maybe that would be good. I still think I prefer the clamshell form factor personally, but I don't know. Maybe this is like the sign of something to come. Like maybe the next 3DS or the next DS, Star DS or whatever they're going to call it, is actually just going to be a big tablet. It's going to be like an iPad with buttons, with a big touchscreen. Like maybe that's what they're testing out here, testing out some new form factors, some new ideas. I mean, if I had a button like add-on for my iPad, it would be the perfect gaming device. A huge ass screen. If it could have the same buttons and analog sticks that my 3DS has, I'd be happy.
yeah, you know, when it comes to Nintendo, right? Like I think a lot of people were quick, and you know, rightfully so because of how weird it does look and how like, well, this is very strange. But when it comes to Nintendo, handheld wise, to me, they're basically infallible. I mean, they've never designed a handheld gaming thing. Jesus. Oh, I'm tired. A gaming device that has been a piece of crap, you know.
Except for the Virtual Boy. But then that's not really a handheld because you need to actually put it on a stand on a desk.
And put your face into it.
So they have it out there.
Yeah, like, okay, I guess one that you could carry around with you and you could play on the bus, right? They've always been really, really good. And I would never discount Nintendo for trying something new. You know, they're the only ones really that try something new.
They're the innovators in the
They were the first one to go with motion, you know, and they made a shit ton with it.
First analog stick, first touchscreen, first everything.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the handhelds, they've always been a hit. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for it to be a hit. Yep. When I first saw the original DS, I was like, that's stupid. But now, like, I couldn't imagine not owning a DS because they were so much fun. You know, the Vita is great, and I love the design, but the Vita, in terms of innovation, is none. You know, like it's just, you know, the touchscreen and the back touchscreen, and it's got a 6-axis. You know, that's not really innovation. That's not really anything new. They're taking a bunch of already existing ideas and putting it into a device that actually works quite well. You know, for Nintendo to come out with something like this, I think it's awesome. I think you might be on the right track with them saying like we're testing something for like what the new iteration of, you know, the 4DS or whatever they're going to call it, right? 3DS 2.
Yeah.
You know, we might be going to just a completely open tablet design, and that would be freaking awesome because Nintendo, I think, has a really good handle on how to design something that you're going to hold and it's going to be comfortable and you're going to play. Yeah. I've never, you know, their controllers have always felt really good. They're, you know, and the handhelds have always fit really well, and they've been weighted appropriately as well too. The Vita kind of has that problem where you're not really quite sure where the center of gravity is. You know, it's fairly evenly weighted, but it, you know, from certain angles it kind of strains your wrists and stuff. Yeah. The 3DS, you know, the way it folds out just always feels really good, you know, like you're not straining your wrists to kind of hold it there for, you know, a couple hours and play a game.
Yep.
So it's very interesting. I think the 2DS is a wicked idea, and I did not know until just a few minutes ago that it plays 3DS games just without the 3D. You because honestly, I would go buy one if I didn't have one, because that's a wicked idea.
Yeah, it's great. And the one thing that we have to realize is Nintendo's not competing against the Vita, because
No.
I mean, they're not even the same planet. The sales wise, or parents aren't going to buy the Vita for their kids. I mean, it looks like an expensive piece of equipment, where the DS looks like it's friendly, it's kid safe, all that stuff. What Nintendo's competing against is Android phones and iPhones and tablets. Like, you can get a cheap tablet for $99 in some stores on sale that plays Android games, and a lot of people are buying that for their kids, and their kids get free games or free to play stuff. So maybe designing this one that looks more like a tablet is gonna kind of get into the brains of the parents. It's like, oh, well, I'll just get them the Nintendo thing that looks like a tablet instead of buying them this cheap like Asus or Fuji or whatever brand X Android tablet. So maybe that's why this form factor was chosen as well, as kind of a, hey, look, we can do tablet gaming too, but it's not a tablet.
It does
and
feel
there's
like
two
you're
screens.
getting closer to bridging that gap, right?
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if the next portable system is like a two tablets stuck together with a hinge with physical buttons or something.
It's the clam tablet, the clamlet.
Yeah, it's the Clam DS.
Yeah. Okay, one thing I don't like about this, and I don't like about the 3DS as well too, and then we'll move on. The lower screen being smaller in width than the upper screen. I still don't understand that at all.
They
and
should
I
have
think
fixed
it's
it.
silly.
They could have done that.
Be
They
the
could have done
same
that on
size.
that one. It should have been
Are
the
they the
size.
same on the 3DS XL?
No, they're not.
It's so weird.
It doesn't make sense. It's because of resolution, but what? It doesn't make sense at all. I don't understand why they did
I don't
that.
like that.
They
Very small, minor thing though in the grand scheme of things, but
yeah,
I would love them to just, because I'm a guy who likes things even, you know. When I'm designing something in Minecraft, if I don't have odd number of blocks in the middle of a doorway or something, it just drives me insane. It has to be even. The door has to be in the middle. Symmetry. I love that kind of stuff. And open up the 3DS, and it's like, this screen is smaller. Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, and it's because of the original DS having like a 4:3 sort of aspect ratio, and then they went to the wider screen for the top one. But I mean, you're already changing it up. You're using software to emulate having a smaller screen on the bottom when it's just one big panel. They could have done something to stretch it out and figure it out. But again, this is a $129. We want to make a cheap thing. They weren't gonna be putting any sort of software innovation into it. Other than,
I bet it feels light as hell. It's probably empty inside.
Yeah, like apparently it's way lighter than the XL, obviously, and even lighter than the normal 3DS. So I can't wait to get you guys in the chat room, you're very distracting. I can't wait to get my daughters here and test it out, because I definitely will be picking one up on day one, or as close to day one as I can. But I'm predicting this thing's going to sell 1 million in the first month. Like this, they're going to be eating this up. Parents
don't play Game Boy Advance games still, right?
No. See, if they added that, oh my god, that would have been huge.
Slam dunk. I mean, I wouldn't even.
There have been software changes, and they don't want to do that. But yeah, that would have been amazing. But unfortunately, it doesn't. Just the DS and 3DS games.
It's too bad.
All right, moving on. Let's get through these ones as quick as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Saints Row. We've already talked about that one. It sold over 1 million copies in its first week.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Huge marketing budget on this game.
It's huge.
It was such a big hit. For all of the best reasons, it was a big hit last time around for Saints Row Third. So I'm happy it's selling. Really, even though I don't like the game, I'm happy it's selling, because I think those guys have maybe some of the zanier creative ideas that other people aren't willing to take a chance on. So let them stay around. Yep.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. All right. I don't have anything else to add there. Sorry.
Yeah, did you agree with me there?
I was going to add something, and then I told you. I was like, I guess that's kind of what I wanted to say. All right. Moving on. PlayStation Plus announced what their September games are, and I talk about this. I don't talk about Microsoft's plan, because they give you 3-year-old games.
Dead Rising 2 came out, and I was like, hey, I haven't played this. And then I played it, and I was like, this is shit. I was so pissed off. They haven't given us one good game. Well, they have, but it's been out for 7.5 years.
Yeah, Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't given us a free game that was like a launch title on the original Xbox or something.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your free game.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to hell.
So this month or this coming month on PlayStation Plus, they're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. Resident Evil Chronicles HD Collection, Eco, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, and the big one is Rayman Origins on Vita will be a free game as well. And also
That's a great
Galaga
one.
Legions DX will be free as well as that. So pretty good.
Trevor's in the chat room right now, and I have a bone to pick with him because this guy, YOLO Pizza Boy, right, or Hot Dog Pizza Boy or whatever, he's such a Sony fanboy, right? And I know that it's all in good fun, and he likes to poke fun and stuff, but he does not have a PlayStation Plus membership, and I want to know what that's about. I don't know if he's around right now.
That does not make sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
It hurts my head. I have a headache now. I think we have to stop the show because I'm so confused.
Have it every time, like, as I when I log on, I always see who's online. Same thing I do with the Xbox, and it'll have that little plus symbol on your card or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have one. He's the only person on my list that doesn't have it.
Weird.
And it just boggles mine. He's going to answer here in a few seconds. So let's continue with this.
Yeah, it's really, really bizarre. I don't understand.
Awesome month for PlayStation Plus. If you have a PS3 or a Vita and you don't have Plus, give your head a shake. Get your life together and get it.
I mean, you're getting the Resident Evil Chronicles HD collection, so that's the shooter collection that had what was it called? It was the Umbrella Chronicles and the Dark Side Chronicles, I think. Let me pull up the article.
Umbrella Chronicles was the first one. And it was okay. They were on the Wii. I played them both on the Wii. They were okay. They were not great.
They're fun. They're fun.
When it's free, and it's a game that came out in the last 2 years, how do you argue with it?
Yeah. And then you get Eco, which is like a cult classic, if there ever was a cult classic, which is great. Then you get Liberty City Stories, Grand Theft Auto, which was a Vita game, and was it was a PSP game, but just playable on the Vita, which is an amazing version of Grand Theft Auto and good timing since the new Grand Theft Auto is coming out. So that's nice. You get Rayman Origins on the Vita, which I just bought like a couple months ago or a month and a half ago or whatever.
Sucker.
For $27, or actually I think I paid $29.99. And
such a rube, Hannison.
It is free, so you can get that. Like, you're getting such great content. But even worse, we're getting good games. Do you want to hear what's coming out in Europe?
Europe, just, I don't know why, like maybe they're trying to sell PlayStations there and they're like, just take everything for free, but man, does Europe get it so well.
Yeah, it's crazy. Assassin's Creed 3, the Jack and Daxter trilogy, Stealth Inc. A Clone in the Dark, which just came out, by the way, Urban Trial, Freestyle, and New Little King's Story, which I want that game. I love Little King's Story.
Urban Trial Freestyle is great on the Vita, by the way. I love that game. It's a kind of a rip-off of Trials, and it's a lot worse, but it's still really fun.
But yeah, the 5 amazing games. I don't understand why Europe is getting such good games.
Hell, Assassin's Creed 3 is worth it alone. That game is still $50 used.
Yeah, it didn't come out that long ago. Crazy.
I guess we're coming up on a year now, but still.
PlayStation Plus is awesome, so do check it out. All right, moving on. We didn't get a chance to really talk about the Humble Origin bundle because we didn't do a show last week, but there was this bundle that Humble Bundle put up with Origin, so with EA. So all the games were available on Origin, which is their Steam competitor. There was also a lot of the games that had Steam codes, but you got things like Mirror's Edge, Battlefield 3, Dead Space 3, Burnout Paradise, a bunch of stuff. Really great. And the best part about it was EA wasn't getting any money from this. They were giving 100% of their stuff.
Best part about
it was because I was like, I don't want to give EA any more money. Like,
that's funny.
Jerks. And then it's like, 100% is going to charity. All right. I will buy this. So I bought it basically just to play through Mirror's Edge on my PC. I don't play a lot of games on the PC, but I will boot this one up to play it. And I got some other games which I already have. But now I have Steam and Origin versions of it. But yeah, they sold over $10.5 million worth of bundles.
Wow.
It's stupid. So yeah, I mean, Humble Bundle did really good. Actually, if you go to Humble Bundle right now. They followed up the amazing Humble Origin bundle with the Humble Comedy bundle, and you get a whole bunch of like comedies in audio or video form. And it's just like, wow, that is a really weird thing to follow up like one of the best game bundles you've ever done. And they've only raised $200,000 for the comedy. Not big fans of comedy, I guess. All the gamers on humblebundle.com.
Yeah, but I guess if you're a charity, you're not going to complain about $200,000.
Well, this one is not all going to charity. This one's going to. You can put stuff to charity, but 80% at least usually goes to the artists. So that's some decent money for some independent comedian artists and things like that. But
I've never bought a bundle, and only because I just don't. I never have the means to play the games, you know. And I'm not one of those people who are like, well, eventually I might get a PC.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, I know.
My Steam collection is huge, and I don't PC game. I play the odd thing on my Mac. I got to stop that. I just can't help myself. It's a deal. It's like, oh my God,
yeah,
I don't need this 27 kilogram bundle of rice, but I mean, it's only like $10. I'll eat that rice sometime in my life.
Yeah. When does rice go bad?
That's why Costco is like a bad thing for me, because I buy stupidly huge things.
Costco grosses me out. Anything in vast quantities really just makes me ill.
Yeah, it's terrible. All right, moving on. So Humble Origin bundle sold really well. So hopefully we get some more bundles like that, because many cheap games for a little bit of money is a good thing. All right, moving on. Activision has announced that on the PlayStation 3, they are going to be selling you an upgrade. So if you buy Call of Duty Ghosts, you'll be able to buy it on the PlayStation 3, and then for $10, you'll be able to upgrade it on to the PlayStation 4. So not just your DLC for free, but the actual game itself. They'll sell you the new version for $10. There was a little bit of doubt that it was going to be that cheap. It had previously been announced that was what was going to happen on the Xbox, I believe. But yeah, this is what's going to happen on the PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 as well, which is pretty good. Interesting enough, there's a lot of game retailers that are actually going to give you a $50 trading credit for the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 version of that game. I know Future Shop in Canada is doing it. Future Shop doesn't sell used games in Manitoba, but I know Future Shop is doing it. I know GameStop is doing it. So yeah, you can pretty much, however you do it, you'll be able to get a cheap upgrade to the newer version of Call of Duty Ghosts if that is a game that you're going to be buying.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of, in the comment section on this article alone, but, there's a lot of people out there who I heard on Twitter, and like, this is, how dare they, charge it. Like, listen, completely different console. Mm-hmm. It's extremely fair for them to just take $10.
Wait then, baby. If you don't want to spend the extra $10, just wait.
Like, quite frankly, if I was the people at the top, I would have been like, listen, you're paying full price. Get over it. Yep. You want the game, you're going to pay full price. That's how it works. $10 is like... that is super fair in my mind, anyway.
No, I think it's hugely fair. You bought a game on one console because you wanted it on day one. The new console came out, and you're upgrading for $10. That's never been really done before, so that's a pretty good thing.
Very fair.
All right, well, I think that's gonna about do it. I think we'll skip the last couple news items, and thanks everybody for coming out. We had a lot of people in the chat room. Thanks everybody that stuck around to the bitter end. We still have
a lot of people.
We still have Trevor, Steven, Sinister, Jake Carguth, Jeff A. Ward is back again.
By the way, Trevor cleared something up, and he said that the reason he doesn't have it on his main account is he shares another profile with a friend, and they pay half each for PlayStation Plus. So he does have it, and he said he's eventually going to be getting it on his main account. So he is not, or he's got off easy this time.
He is.
He does have it. I'm going to ask Trevor this, and he'll answer later on. But every time I look at his profile, he's always playing Uncharted 3 every single time for the last couple of months. I don't know what that's.
He's trying to get the last few. They keep adding. A DLC that has more trophies, and he has to have 100% beside. Even though he has a platinum, he has to get the 100%. I bet you that's what it is.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
And also in the chat room, besides Jeff A. Ward, we have Foreman as well. I didn't say his name. So thanks everybody for tuning in and staying in the chat room. We had a bunch of people here that sorry couldn't, or sadly couldn't stay around to the bitter end because we went on a little long. But thanks everybody that came out. Thanks everybody for for subscribing. As I said, follow us on iTunes, subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Stitcher, or just shoot us an email so we can talk about it on the next show, vgpodcast@gmail.com, or call us at 505 VG Podcasts, leave us a voicemail, and we'll use it in a future episode of the Bonus Stage Podcast. So, Jeff, we will not see you for another 2 weeks.
Yes.
So thanks for coming out this week, though, and talking about Saints Row.
Yeah, and shitting on it.
It's going to be polarizing, I'm sure.
Probably.
We'll hear from
it. And again, I think you should still play the game. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it.
This is the worst food I've ever eaten. Here, have a bite.
Yeah. It's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning into yet another Bonus Stage podcast. Let us know what you think of the special edition we put out. Definitely give us your feedback. We want to know. But yeah, we'll talk to you guys in about a week's time. I'm not sure what's going to be here next week, but we will have a show next week. Tune in live to find out what that show is. Take it easy, guys. We'll talk to you in 7 days.
Let's get started.